My parents laughed in my face when I asked for help with college, then admitted they'd been using my rent payments to fund my brother's tuition instead. When I finally asked why I was always treated differently, my dad shrugged and said, "We just liked Dylan more. You didn't need us." I didn't say a word. That was 2 months ago. This morning, he watched Dylan pack his bags without offering to help. My folks have always shown clear favoritism toward my little brother Dylan and never tried to hide which son they actually gave a damn about. I had to bust my butt at a grocery store to save up for my hit-up Honda, while Dylan got handed a brand new Mazda for his 14th birthday just because. Same story with everything else, like gaming consoles and smartphones and designer clothes where I got hand-me-downs or nothing. They always told me to man up and stop whining and be the supportive big brother who celebrates his siblings' wins. Now I'm 18, taking a year off before starting at the local community college so I can work full-time at a warehouse. My parents straight up laughed in my face when I asked if they could chip in for my tuition expenses. But then last week I overheard them in the kitchen discussing how they plan to cover every penny of Dylan's university costs when his time came. I pulled out my phone and hit record while hiding behind the wall, then walked in asking why Dylan gets his education paid for, but I don't. They had no clue I was filming when they said Dylan just needs more support than I do. I pressed them, asking how that made any sense when neither of us had scholarships or anything special going on. Then I kept pushing with more questions about why this double standard had always existed in our house. They got mad, and my old man said maybe it was time for me to find my own place since they were tired of providing shelter for an ungrateful kid. I reminded him that I fork over more than half the mortgage payment every month, but they brushed that off. I stormed out and in my anger posted the whole recording on TikTok and Facebook with a long rant about how this treatment had been my whole life. Within hours, my parents were banging on my bedroom door with my dad screaming about how I'd humiliated them online for everyone to see. We had another blowout fight before they stomped away, furious. My grandma called me that evening saying she was disgusted by what she saw, then showed up the next morning with basically the entire extended family. They forced my parents to sit on the living room sofa like scolded children, while relatives took turns telling them off. That's when I learned my grandparents had been sending them cash every month for years to help with household bills. Dylan stood there looking lost and confused before eventually taking the family's side and admitting he'd noticed the unfair treatment too. My parents gave me this obviously fake apology through gritted teeth. My grandparents offered to let me move in with them immediately and said they'd stop all financial support to my parents. My dad told me I should have kept family business private and hasn't spoken to me since, while my mom has been bawling non-stop. Now, I'm second-guessing whether I took things too far by going public. Update. I called my grandparents yesterday and told them I'd take them up on their offer to move in with them. While we talked, I asked about those monthly payments they'd been making to my parents all these years. Apparently, my mom had quit her office job to stay home full-time, and they started struggling financially. My grandparents stepped in, sending money each month to help with the mortgage plus extra that was supposed to go into college savings accounts for both Dylan and me equally. But my parents only ever planned to use